There are exactly three things you're not supposed to do at Songjin Academy if you're a scholarship Omega trying to survive unnoticed. Touch the No Twins. Fall asleep in their space. Let anyone see your weakness. I managed all three in under 10 minutes, and I didn't even know I'd done it until I heard her laugh. My name is Bayeki Sul, and I've spent 3 years perfecting invisibility. Scholarship student, bottom-tier housing, one the kind of Omega who learns early that being noticed means being targeted. So you make yourself small, quiet, and forgettable. It worked. For 3 years, it worked. Tonight, my leg had other plans. My leg injury happened the night I arrived at the academy. Wrong place, wrong time, a flight of stairs I didn't see in the dark. Something tore that never healed right because I couldn't afford the kind of medical care that actually fixes things. I learned to walk through it, studied through it. Mighty built my entire existence around managing pain I couldn't make stop. Most days I could handle it. Tonight wasn't most days. The library was packed. Mid-semester exams had turned every available surface into contested territory. Even the floor space near the outlets had students sitting cross-legged with laptops balanced on their knees. I'd been standing for 2 hours. The cheap painkillers I could afford had run out 3 days ago, and my leg was screaming. Oh no, not the dull ache I'd grown used to. The sharp, grinding kind that made my vision blur and my hands shake. I needed to sit. Now. The periodical section was my fallback. Back corner, half hidden behind shelves nobody used anymore. The sofa was there. Deep green leather, angled away from the main floor. I saw bags on one end, but the other side looked empty. I sat down hard. The moment my body made contact, everything changed. The pain stopped. Not faded. Stopped. 3 years of constant burning weight just vanished. I was touching warmth. Solid, deliberate warmth that wasn't leather. Relief crashed over me. My eyes were closing before I could stop them. For the first time since the accident, I wasn't hurting. I fell asleep in seconds. I don't know how long I was out. He actually fell asleep. The voice was low, measured, male. On both of us, another voice added. Quieter, almost curious. I surfaced slowly. Warmth surrounded me. Cedar and smoke. Close breathing. More than one person. My eyes opened. Two faces. Amber eyes on one side. Dark eyes on the other. I wasn't sitting beside someone. I was between them. No terrain on my left. No Tawan on my right. The twins. The untouchable alphas who ruled Songjin Academy's social hierarchy. The ones everyone knew better than to approach without invitation. My heart stopped. My scent spiked with horror before I could control it. I'm so sorry, I stammered, trying to stand. I didn't see anyone. My leg buckled the second I put weight on it. The pain slammed back. Worse than before. Vision whiting out. Both twins moved. Taryn's hand caught my left arm. Taewon's hand steadied my right. Not gripping. Just there. And the pain receded slightly like their touch was medicine my body recognized. Careful, Taewon said. Then I heard the laugh. Sharp. Delighted. Vicious. Well, this is interesting. Che Yura stepped around the shelf. Designer outfit. A perfect hair. Smile like a knife. Taryn's girlfriend. Everyone knew. She'd made sure of it since freshman year. Im Sulbi appeared beside her a second later. Influencer. 500,000 followers. Taiwan's official other half. The kind of Omega who destroyed people with a single post. They both stared at me. Then at the twins' hands still on my arms. Yura's smile widened. Taryn. Baby. And we want to explain why there's a random Omega sleeping on you? Sleeping between them, Sulbi corrected, pulling out her phone. Both of them. That's actually impressive. I tried to pull away. The twins didn't let go. Put the phone away, Taryn said. His voice was quiet. Cold. Sulbi tilted her head. Why? This is content gold. Mystery Omega cuddling the No twins while their girlfriends are gone for 20 minutes. She raised the camera. Smile. Ina scholarship boy. I said put it away. Taewon's voice was sharper than his brother's. Yura laughed, loud enough that students at nearby tables looked up. Oh my God, you're actually protecting him. Do you even know his name? She stepped closer, scanning me head to toe with open disgust. Her voice rose, projecting. Wait, I know you. You're the charity case from the East dorms, the one who limps everywhere. Heat flooded my face. He doesn't just limp, Sylvie added helpfully. A phone still raised. He's actually crippled. Look at him. He can't even stand without them holding him up. Students were turning now. Whispers starting. Phones coming out. This is pathetic, Yura continued, voice dripping false concern. Did you really drag your broken body onto them thinking what? That they'd feel sorry for you? That you'd get attention? That's enough, Taryn said. Yura ignored him. No, I want to understand. Because from where I'm standing, and it looks like some desperate scholarship Omega threw himself at my boyfriend hoping for. He didn't throw himself anywhere. Taewon's voice cut through hers. He was asleep. Even worse, Sulby said brightly. He's so shameless he literally passed out on them. Do you know how many Omegas would kill for that spot? And trash like him just takes it? She moved closer. Too close. Her sense spiked with aggression. Let me guess. You have no idea who they are. You just saw an empty sofa and thought, perfect, free real estate. She laughed. Honey, that sofa hasn't been empty in 4 years. Everyone knows it's theirs. I didn't know, I managed. My voice came out broken. I'm sorry. Sorry? Yura's eyes went wide with mock shock. He's sorry, Taryn. He violated your space and now he's sorry. Isn't that sweet? Taryn's grip on my arm tightened slightly. Yura, stop. Why? She stepped even closer. Close enough that I could smell her expensive perfume. Why should I stop? He needs to learn that Omegas like him don't get to touch alphas like you. Taewon moved, stepped between us. His shoulders blocked Yura completely. Back up, he said. Yura's face went pale, then red. Excuse me? You heard him, Taryn added, moving to flank his brother. Both of them positioned between me and the two girls now. The air changed, shifted. Every alpha instinct in the room recognized the united front, and the protective stance. Sylvie lowered her phone slowly, eyes narrowing. You're actually choosing him. Over us. Silence. Yura's hands shook. By tomorrow morning, everyone in this academy will know what kind of Omega he is. What he did. Let them know, Taryn said quietly. Taewon looked at me over his shoulder. Can you walk? I don't. Answer the question. No, I whispered. He nodded once. Then to his brother. We're carrying him. My stomach dropped. Sure, you don't have to. We're not asking, Taryn said. Before I could protest, Taewon's arm went around my waist. Taryn supported my other side. They lifted me like I weighed nothing. Yura's voice rose to a near scream. You're going to regret this. Noted, Taryn said without looking back. They carried me past her, past Solby's raised phone, past 20 students recording everything. I just started a war I had no chance of surviving. The academy clinic had fluorescent lights that buzzed too loud and antiseptic smell that made my stomach turn. Or maybe that was just fear. The twins set me down on the examination table carefully. Too carefully. Like I was something fragile they were afraid of breaking further. Taryn stepped back immediately. Taewon took 2 seconds longer, his hand lingering on my shoulder before he pulled away. The nurse was older, sharp-eyed. The kind who'd seen everything twice and wasn't impressed by wealth or status. She took one look at my leg, and her expression went tight. How long? She asked. 3 years. What have you been taking for it? I pulled the bottle from my pocket. Generic label. Bought from the convenience store 2 blocks off campus because it was half the price of the pharmacy. She read the label and her jaw clenched. You've been taking these daily? When I can afford them. She looked at the twins. Then back at me. He needs a hospital. Now. My stomach dropped. I'm fine. I just need to rest. You're not fine. She was already reaching for her phone. This is beyond what we can handle here. Taryn moved closer. What's wrong? His leg is the least of his problems right now. The ambulance came in 8 minutes. I kept saying I didn't need it. Kept insisting I could walk. The twins didn't argue with me. They just stayed close while the paramedics loaded me onto the stretcher. Their presence solid and immovable. We're coming with him, Taewon said. The paramedic looked between us. Family only. We're coming with him, Taryn repeated. Same words, different tone. The kind that didn't allow for negotiation. The paramedics stepped aside. They rode in the ambulance. Didn't sit close, didn't touch me. Just sat on the bench across from the stretcher, silent and watchful while machines beeped and the IV dripped something cold into my arm. I closed my eyes and tried not to think about how much this was going to cost. The hospital was bright and loud and moved too fast. Doctors I didn't know asking questions I couldn't focus on. Blood work, scans, more needles. The twins disappeared somewhere during the chaos, and part of me was relieved. Part of me felt colder without them nearby. I woke up in a private room, not a ward, not the kind of shared space scholarship students got assigned. A private room with a window and a chair and equipment that looked like it actually worked. The doctor came in 20 minutes later, young, tired, holding a tablet with my results. "Your leg needs surgery," she said without preamble. "The damage is extensive. Torn ligaments, bone fragments, cartilage deterioration. We can fix it, but it should have been addressed years ago." I nodded. Expected that. "The bigger problem is your liver." My heart stopped. She pulled up images I didn't understand. "Those painkillers you've been taking, they're not regulated. The dosage is inconsistent and the fillers are toxic. You've been poisoning yourself slowly for 3 years." The room tilted. "How bad?" My voice didn't sound like mine. "Bad enough that continued use would cause permanent damage within months. You'll need monitoring, treatment, and the surgery needs to happen soon." She left before I could ask about cost. I lay there staring at white walls. I was trying to calculate numbers that didn't add up. The surgery alone would cost more than I'd saved in 3 years. The liver treatment, the follow-up care, the medication. I had nothing. The door opened. Both twins walked in, still in their academy uniforms, still keeping their distance. They stood near the foot of the bed, not crowding, just there. Silence stretched between us. "I need to tell you something," I said finally. The words came out rough. "Tonight, in the library. When I woke up and the pain was gone." I stopped, started again. "I haven't felt that kind of relief in 3 years. Not from medication, not from anything. It just stopped. Completely." They didn't move, just listened. "I don't know why it happened," I continued, "but I needed you to know it wasn't planned. I didn't know you were there until I woke up." Taryn said quietly, "We know." Taewon stepped closer. "Not much, just enough." "We felt something too. When you made contact. When your scent settled." He glanced at his brother. "We think it was a mate bond. We think your pain relief could be the mate bond responding." I laughed, couldn't help it. The sound came out bitter. "That's not possible." "Why not?" Taryn asked. "Because no one bonds with someone like me. I'm a charity case with nothing to offer. Mate bonds don't work like that." "They work exactly like that," Taewon said. "Biology doesn't care about status. Your girlfriends would." Silence. "Now, thank you for bringing me here," I said. "For staying. But you should go now. Back to campus. Back to your lives." I meant it. They had reputations to protect, relationships to salvage. I wasn't worth the cost. They didn't argue. Taryn moved toward the door first. Taewon followed. Neither looked back. The door clicked shut. I sat in the silence. In the white room, with machines that beeped steadily and windows that showed nothing but dark sky. Alone. The way I'd always been. A tear slipped down my cheek. Then another. I didn't bother wiping them away. No one was there to see, even though I wished my mother could just appear. I hadn't seen her since the beginning of the semester, wondering all night how she waged through dangerous nights. I had to stay strong, alone. My chest felt hollow, empty in a way that had nothing to do with the hospital or the surgery, or even the pain. For 8 minutes tonight, I hadn't been alone. For 8 minutes, the pain had stopped. For 8 minutes, I'd felt safe. And now I was back to this, to silence and white walls and problems I couldn't solve. I closed my eyes. My phone buzzed on the side table. I didn't want to look. Didn't want to see more comments or posts or pictures circulating through forums I'd never be able to escape. But I looked anyway. One new notification. I opened it. The notification wasn't a text. It was a link. School form. Posted 2 minutes ago. Already at 1,000 views. The title made my stomach drop. The truth about scholarship student Baiki Soul. The first line destroyed me. Everyone's been asking how a nobody Omega got into Xiangjin Academy on full scholarship. Turns out his mother is an escort who slept her way through the donor list until someone owed her a favor. Here's the proof. Below it, a video. My mother, walking into a bar downtown. Dressed in clothes I recognized. Tight dress, high heels, makeup that looked different in harsh lighting than it did at home. 3 men followed her inside. Older, wealthy, based on their suits. The video was grainy, probably taken from across the street. But clear enough, the comments were worse. No wonder he's so desperate. Like mother, like son. Bet he learned all his tricks from her. I couldn't breathe. The video disappeared an hour after it was posted. Someone reported it. Someone got it taken down. But the internet doesn't forget. Screenshots, reposts, shares across every social platform Xiangjin students used. By morning, everyone had seen it. I sat in that hospital bed staring at my phone, watching my life disintegrate in real time. The shame was physical, a weight in my chest that made it hard to pull air into my lungs. My mother worked hard. She did what she had to do to keep us fed, keep me in school, keep the lights on after my father left when I was 6. I knew what her job was. I'd known since I was old enough to understand why she came home late and why we never talked about where the money came from. I'd never been ashamed of her. But I was ashamed now, not of her, of myself, for being the reason she had to do it, for being the burden that required her to sacrifice everything. The door to my hospital room opened. I looked up. My mother stood in the doorway, still in her work clothes, the dress from the video, the heels that made her taller but looked painful. Makeup smudged slightly at the edges, like she'd been crying and tried to fix it. She smelled like alcohol and perfume that cost more than our rent. The school called, she said quietly. Her voice was rough, tired. They told me what happened, what people are saying. I couldn't look at her. She walked closer, sat in the chair beside the bed. Her hands were shaking. Are you ashamed of me? She asked. The question broke something in my chest. No. The word came out fierce. Never. She laughed, but it sounded like crying. You should be. You took care of me, I said, when no one else would. When Dad left and we had nothing. You did what you had to do. I'm not ashamed of that. Her face crumpled. She pressed a hand to her mouth, trying to hold it together. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry they found out. I tried to keep it separate. Onhano tried to make sure no one would ever connect you to what I do. It's not your fault. It is. She wiped her eyes. If I'd been stronger, if I'd found another way, there was no other way. I reached for her hand. You did what you had to do, and I'm here because of it. I'm alive because of it. She held my hand tight, too tight, like she was afraid I'd disappear if she let go. We sat in silence for a long time. Then she pulled herself together, straightened her shoulders, and became the version of herself I recognized, the fighter. I heard about your treatment, she said. The surgery, the liver, the costs. I'll figure it out. You don't have to. She pulled an envelope from her purse, set it on the bed. I took a big job, bigger than I usually do. The pay was enough to cover everything. I stared at the envelope. Mom, no, it's done. Her voice was firm. The money's already transferred to the hospital. Your surgery is scheduled. Your treatment is covered. Anna, you don't need to worry about it. What did you have to do? The question came out strangled. She smiled, sad and tired and full of something I couldn't name. What I always do, survive, so you can live. I wanted to argue, wanted to refuse, wanted to tell her she didn't have to sacrifice more for me, but I knew she'd already made the choice, and nothing I said would change it. Thank you, I whispered. She kissed my forehead. You're my boy. I'd do anything for you. Then she left, and the surgery happened 2 weeks later. Knee reconstruction, partial liver resection, several hours on the table, days in recovery. The twins came to visit. I turned them away every time. They stood outside my door, tried to talk through it, said they'd help find out who leaked the video, said they had resources, connections. I told them to leave. They came back the next day anyway. I turned them away again. By the third visit, they stopped trying to convince me. And Ura just said they'd be there if I changed my mind. I didn't change my mind. 2 months passed. Physical therapy, slow healing, learning to walk again without the constant grinding pain that had defined my existence for 3 years. The crutch became part of me. Temporary, the doctor said, just until the knee strengthened. My mother was scared as it was time for me to go back to school. "You don't have to go back," she said the night before I returned to campus. "You can transfer. Start over somewhere else. I'm not running. They're going to hurt you. They already did." I adjusted the crutch. "Going back won't make it worse." She didn't believe me. I didn't believe me either. But I went anyway. The campus looked the same. Early morning, students heading to first period, groups clustered near the main building. I walked slowly. The crutch made it awkward. My knee ached but didn't scream anymore. Then I saw it. The notice board near the entrance, usually filled with club announcements and event flyers. Now it had two paintings, crude, done in spray paint. One showed a figure on his knees. The other showed a woman in a short dress. Below them, in bright red letters, "Welcome back, charity case." I stopped walking. Couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Footsteps behind me. I turned. The twins, walking toward the entrance. Not alone. Yura on Taryn's right, Sulby on Taewin's left. All four of them. Together. The girls saw the paintings, saw me standing there, and they laughed, loud, sharp, delighted. Their laughter didn't hurt anymore. That was the first thing I noticed. Standing there in front of those crude paintings, listening to Yura and Sulby laugh like they'd won something, I felt nothing. No shame, no anger, no humiliation. Just cold calculation. My mother's face flashed through my mind. The way she tried not to cry in that hospital room. The guilt in her eyes when she asked if I was ashamed of her. The envelope of money she'd earned doing work that required her to sacrifice pieces of herself so I could survive. She'd done whatever it took. Now it was my turn. The twins walked past me, close enough that their shoulders and long fingers brushed mine. It was subtle, yet a statement. Yura and Sulby were too busy laughing to notice. But I noticed. Taryn's hand grazed my left side. Barely a touch. Just enough pressure to feel deliberate. Taewin's fingers brushed my right. Gentle. Steady. But then they were gone, walking toward the main building with their girlfriends still cackling behind them. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out. Unknown number. But I knew who it was. "Anything you decide, we are behind you." I stared at the message for 3 seconds. Then I deleted it and walked to class. The next day, everything changed. I was sitting in the back row, same seat I'd claimed since returning to campus, the one near the window where I could watch without being watched. The door slammed open. Yura stormed in. Her face was red, blotchy, twisted with rage I'd never seen her wear in public before. Sulby was already seated 3 rows ahead. She looked up, confused. Yura crossed the room in 4 strides and slapped her. The sound cracked through the classroom like a gunshot. Everyone froze. Sulby's head snapped to the side. Her hand flew to her cheek, eyes wide with shock. "You lying snake," Yura hissed. Her voice shook, not with fear, with fury. How could you? What are you talking about?" Sulby's voice came out high, defensive. "Don't play stupid." Yura pulled out her phone, turned the screen toward the class. This is what I'm talking about." She hit play, video footage, grainy but clear enough. Sulby leaning close to a group of students near the lockers, her voice low, conspiratorial. "I'm just saying, Yura's last exam score was suspicious. She's never scored that high in mathematics before. And I heard she paid someone to take it for her." The whispers, the knowing looks, the spread of poison disguised as concern, all captured on camera. Sulby's face went white. "That's not... I didn't mean... You started a rumor that I cheated." Yura's hands were shaking. "My family name is being dragged through every forum on campus because of you." "I was just talking," Sulby tried. "I didn't think anyone would actually believe." "Everyone believes it." Yura's voice rose to a near scream. "Judge, the administration is launching an investigation. My father is furious. And it's all because you couldn't keep your mouth shut." The class erupted. Whispers, gasps, phones coming out to record the meltdown happening in real time. I watched from my corner. Yura's reputation was built on perfection, top scores, of flawless academics. The daughter of the Academy's largest donor, who proved she earned her place through merit, not money. Now that image was cracking. Cheating allegations, investigation, West her family scrambling to contain the damage. And Sulby, the class turned on her instantly. She's such a snake. Can't believe she'd betray her own friend. Cheap gossiper. She'll say anything for attention. Sulby's face crumpled. Yura, please. I didn't mean for this to happen. I was just... Get away from me, Yura spat. We're done. Don't ever speak to me again. She stormed out. The damage was done. Both their images collapsed in under 5 minutes. Yura, the perfect student, now suspected of cheating. Sulby, the loyal friend, now exposed as a traitor and a gossip. I pulled out my phone and opened the school forum. The posts were already multiplying. The Chai family princess caught cheating? Sulby exposed as the source. Guess influencers really will do anything for clout. Both of them are trash. Always knew it. I scrolled through them slowly. Let each comment sink in. My phone buzzed. Same unknown number. We did what you wanted. Can you talk to us now? I didn't respond. Instead, I stood and walked to the restroom. The one on the second floor that nobody used during class hours. Quiet. Empty. Just me and the sound of running water. I leaned against the sink and kept scrolling. Yura's family was already trying to contain it. Statements about defamation. Threats of legal action against anyone spreading unverified claims. But the internet doesn't forget. And once the seed of doubt is planted, it grows. Footsteps echoed in the hallway outside. Voices, familiar ones. I stepped out of the restroom and saw them. Sulby, Taryn, Taewon. She was shouting, her voice high and desperate, echoing off the empty corridor walls. I did exactly what you asked. Her hands were shaking. You said if I exposed Yura's secret, I could have both of you. You promised. Taryn's expression was cold. Unreadable. We didn't ask you to get caught on camera, he said quietly. Well, I didn't know someone was recording. Sulby's voice cracked. You said you'd protect me. You said I'd be your only one if I just... You messed it up. Taewon cut in. His tone was flat, clinical. That's on you. But I did what you wanted, she repeated, voice breaking. I ruined Yura for you. I destroyed her reputation. Why aren't you helping me now? Because you were sloppy, Taryn said. Fix it, or lose us both. Sulby's face went pale. Plus, how am I supposed to fix this? Not our problem. Taewon turned away from her. You wanted to play games. Figure it out. Please, Sulby whispered, desperate, broken. I'll do anything. Just don't leave me. Not after everything I... We'll see, Taryn said. Then he looked past her, directly at me. I'd been standing there the entire time, watching, silent. Sulby didn't notice. She was too busy falling apart as she left hurriedly to fix what she had started. But the twins noticed. Both of them turned fully toward me. Their expressions shifted, from cold dismissal to something warmer. Smiles, genuine ones. The twins walked toward me slowly. Did you like the outcome? Taewon asked. I looked at them, at the way they watched me like I was something valuable, something worth dirtying their hands for. I nodded. Then I smiled. Small, cold. Nothing like the broken Omega they'd carried out of the library 2 months ago. There's one more thing, I said quietly. Anything, Taryn said immediately. I let the silence stretch. Let them wait. Then I turned and started walking. Behind me I heard movement. I stopped, looked back. Both twins were on one knee, in the middle of the empty hallway. No one watching, no performance, just them. Kneeling. Taryn took my left hand. Taewon took my right. They pressed their lips to my knuckles simultaneously. Gentle, reverent. We're ready, Taryn said against my skin. Whatever you want, Taewon finished. I looked down at them. The untouchable alphas of Seongjin Academy, on their knees, for me. Yura struck back 48 hours later. I was in the library when my phone started buzzing. Not just mine. Every phone in the room lit up simultaneously like some synchronized alarm system. New post, school forum, video attachment. I opened it. Yura's face filled the screen. Perfect makeup, perfect lighting. But her eyes were cold, calculated. This wasn't a breakdown. This was warfare. I need to set the record straight about someone, she began. Her voice was steady, calm, and the kind of calm that came right before destruction. My former friend, Sulbi, the influencer, the girl with 500,000 followers who sells you lifestyle advice and luxury hauls. She paused. Let the tension build. It's all fake. The camera shifted. Screenshots appeared. Bank statements. School records. Photos taken from a distance showing a girl who looked like Sulbi entering a club downtown. Sulbi isn't from wealth, Yura continued. Her parents can barely afford her tuition. Well, so during school breaks, she works, dancing in clubs for money. And when that's not enough, she does more. More photos. Sulbi leaving hotels with older men. Different men, different nights. She sleeps with them, Yura said flatly. For cash, for gifts, for whatever she needs to maintain the lie that she's one of us. My stomach twisted, not with sympathy, with recognition. This was exactly what they'd done to me, to my mother. I took pity on her. Yura's voice softened, a dripping false compassion. I became her friend, gave her things, helped her build her influencer image so she could have some dignity. And this is how she repays me? By spreading lies about my family? The video ended with Yura's face filling the screen again. The truth always comes out, she said. Always. The library exploded with whispers. I sat perfectly still, watching the comments multiply in real time. Oh my God, Sulbi's a prostitute. They're both hypocrites. Literally did to each other what they did to that scholarship kid. Karma is real. This school is a mess. Within an hour, it had spread beyond campus. Sulbi's sponsors started dropping her. Comments on her social media turned vicious. Her follower count began plummeting. Both of them were burning. Yura, the cheater. Selby, the fraud. And the school watched like it was entertainment. 2 days later, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. They're asking for help. Do we give it to them? I knew who they were. I typed back one word. Yes. The meeting was set for after school. Theater room. The old one in the East Wing that drama club stopped using 2 years ago. I arrived early, slipped in through the side door, took a seat in the back row where shadows pooled thick enough to hide in. The twins arrived first. They didn't look for me, but I knew they sensed I was there. Their shoulders relaxed slightly. A tell. Yura and Sulbi came in together 5 minutes later. They looked wrecked. Yura's hair wasn't perfect anymore. Sulbi's makeup was smudged like she'd been crying and tried to fix it in a hurry. Thank you for meeting us, Yura said. Her voice had lost its edge. Now it just sounded desperate. We need your help, Sulbi added quickly. Both of us. This has gotten out of control, and we don't know how to stop it. Taryn crossed his arms. Why would we help you? Because we're together, Yura said. We're your girlfriends. We've been together for 2 years, Taryn. That has to mean something. Does it? Taewon asked. Sulbi turned to him, eyes wide. You promised me. You said if I helped you with Yura, I could have both of you. You said... We said a lot of things, Taryn cut in. His voice was cold, clinical. Doesn't mean they were true. The theater went silent. Yura's face shifted, understanding dawning slowly, horribly. You set this up, she whispered. You told Sulbi to expose my cheating. You manipulated her. She manipulated herself, Taewon said. We just gave her what she wanted to hear. Sulbi made a sound like she'd been punched. You used me. You used yourself, Taryn corrected. Greed makes people sloppy. Why? Yura's voice cracked. Why are you doing this to us? The twins looked at each other. Some silent communication passed between them. Then Taryn said simply, because you deserved it. For what? Yura demanded. Niwahosh for what you did to Bayeka Soul. The name hung in the air like a curse. Sulbi laughed, sharp and bitter. The charity case? You're destroying us over him? Yes, Taewon said. That's insane, Yura breathed. He's nobody. He's nothing. Why would you care about? We're done, Taryn interrupted. Officially, both of you. Consider this the breakup conversation. No, Yura stepped forward. No, you don't get to just walk away. Our families have agreements, contracts. Not, you can't. Watch us, Taewon said. I won't accept this, Sylvie said, her voice rising with panic. I did everything you asked. I ruined my reputation for you. You owe me. We owe you nothing, Taryn said. They turned to leave. Both of them looked directly into the shadows where I sat. Couldn't see me clearly, but they knew I was there. My phone lit up in my hand, message from them. Did we do well? I typed back, slowly, deliberately. Let's have a date soon. Anna, I'll decide. I saw Taewon's shoulders relax, saw the small smile tug at Taryn's mouth. Then they walked out, left Yura and Solby standing in the empty theater, broken, desperate, alone. I waited until their crying started before I slipped out the side exit. The hallway was busy, students moving between classes, voices echoing off lockers, the usual chaos of a school day in motion. I walked slowly, crutch tapping against tile, letting the rhythm ground me. My knee ached, but it was manageable now. Healing, getting stronger every day. I turned the corner toward the west corridor. A hand grabbed my shoulder from behind. Hard, sudden. I was yanked backward, crutch clattering to the floor as I lost balance. My back hit the wall. Pain shot through my healing knee. Someone pinned me there. I looked up. Yura. Her face was streaked with ruined makeup. Her eyes were wild, red-rimmed, furious. You, she hissed. This is all because of you. Sylvie appeared beside her. Same desperate energy, same unhinged rage. You turned them against us, Sylvie said. You did something, said something. What did you do? Students were stopping now, watching, phones coming out. I didn't answer, just looked at them. Let the silence stretch. Yura's grip tightened on my jacket. Answer me. I didn't do anything, I said quietly. Honestly. Liar, she spat. They were fine until you showed up. Honey, until you threw yourself at them like some desperate... Like your mother, Sylvie finished viciously. Guess it runs in the family. Using your body to get what you want. I smiled, small, cold. Yura's face went pale. What are you smiling about? Karma, I said simply. Her hand pulled back. I knew what was coming. The slap never landed. Someone caught her wrist mid-swing. Taryn. Taewon grabbed Sylvie's arm before she could move. Both twins had appeared through the crowd. Silent. Sudden. The hallway went quiet. Everyone watching now. Touch him again, Taryn said quietly, and I'll make sure your families lose everything. He's lying to you, Yura tried desperately. He's manipulating you. Can't you see? We see perfectly, Taewon said. Now leave, before this gets worse for you. The girls looked between us, calculation warring with desperation. Then they saw the phones, the students recording everything. They ran. The twins let them go. I leaned against the wall, catching my breath. My knee throbbed where I'd hit it. Taryn picked up my crutch, handed it to me carefully. You okay? Taewon asked. I nodded. The crowd was still watching, whispering, recording. By tonight, this would be everywhere. 2 girls attacking an injured student in the hallway, the twins protecting him, another nail in their coffins. I looked at the twins. They were already watching me, waiting. I smiled again. This time, it felt real. The notice went up on Monday morning. Che Yura and Im Sulbi have been suspended indefinitely pending investigation into conduct violations and harassment of fellow students. Effective immediately. The hallway erupted. Students crowded around the board. Phones came out. Comments started flying. Finally, about time they got what they deserved. That poor scholarship kid, he went through hell because of them. I stood at the edge of the crowd, watching, silent. People noticed me. Kiar started approaching. Hey, I'm so sorry about what happened to you. You didn't deserve any of that. If you need anything, let us know. Empty words, performative sympathy from people who'd watched it happen and done nothing. I nodded, smiled politely, said thank you. Then I walked away. I didn't care about their apologies, didn't need their guilt-driven kindness. There were only two people I wanted to see. My phone buzzed. Meet us at the East Gate. We're getting you out of here. I found them waiting by Taryn's car. Black. Expensive. The kind that turned heads. Where are we going? I asked. Taewon opened the back door for me. Somewhere quiet. I got in. The drive took 40 minutes. Out of the city. Into hills where trees grew thick and the air smelled cleaner. They pulled into a private overlook. Just us. No other cars, no people. The view stretched for miles, forest and sky and distance that made everything else feel small. Taryn turned off the engine. Silence settled. How do you see me now? I asked quietly. Both twins turned to look at me. What do you mean? Taewon asked. I manipulated you, used you to destroy two people. I met their eyes. I turned you into puppets. Doesn't that bother you? Taryn's expression didn't change. No. Why not? Because we let you, he said simply. We chose to follow your lead. That's not manipulation. That's trust. Taewon shifted in his seat to face me fully. Aaron, you think we didn't know what you were doing? We knew. From the first message you sent. From the moment you hinted at wanting them gone. And you still helped. Of course we did. His voice was soft, steady. Because they hurt you. And watching you take back your power was the most incredible thing we've ever seen. My chest tightened. We don't see you as manipulative, Taryn added. We see you as strong, strategic, someone who survived things that would have broken most people and came out the other side willing to fight. He reached back. His hand found mine. Warm, deliberate. We fell in love with you the day you fell asleep on us, he said. But watching you become this version of yourself? Confident, ruthless when you need to be, unafraid to take what's yours. His fingers tightened slightly. We're completely gone for you. Taewon's hand joined his brother's, both of them holding me. Or, we're not asking you to love us back, Taewon said quietly. Not yet. We know trust takes time, but we want you to know that we're here, however you need us, for as long as you'll let us stay. I looked at their hands on mine, at the way they held me like I was something precious they were afraid of losing. I thought back to the day before I'd returned to school, the hospital room, empty except for me and my phone, and the crushing weight of knowing I had to go back and face them. Yes, that's when the twins had shown up. Not to the room. They'd texted first, asked if they could see me. I'd said yes. They came with food I could actually eat, sat in chairs pulled close to the bed, didn't ask invasive questions or demand explanations. Just stayed. I want to make them pay, I'd said eventually, voice raw, honest, for what they did to me, to my mother. I want them to feel what we felt. Taryn had nodded slowly. Hey, then we'll help you. Why? Because you deserve justice, Taewon had answered, and because we want to be the ones you trust to give it to you. That's when it started. The plan, the manipulation, the careful orchestration of their downfall. I'd controlled everything, pulled every string, and they'd followed without question. Not because they were weak, because they'd chosen me. I want to give you a chance, I said now. Present tense. Real. Both twins went still. A real one, I continued. Not a transaction, not revenge, just us, figuring out what this is. Taewon's breath hitched. You mean it? Yes. Taryn's hand moved from mine to my face. Gentle. His thumb brushed my cheek. Can I kiss you? He asked. My heart stuttered. Yes. He leaned in slowly, gave me time to change my mind, to pull away. I didn't. His lips touched mine. Soft, careful, like he was afraid I'd break. The kiss was brief, tender, nothing demanding or aggressive, just connection. When he pulled back, Taewon was watching with an expression I couldn't quite name. My turn, he said quietly. I nodded. His kiss was different, warmer, a little less controlled, but just as gentle. When he pulled away, I was breathless. We sat there in the quiet, hands still linked, hearts beating in sync. This is real, Taryn said. Not a question, a statement. It's real, I confirmed. The rest of the date was simple, easy. They took me to a cafe tucked into the hillside. I ordered food I actually liked without me having to ask. Knew I preferred tea over coffee. Knew I needed space but also touch. Small things. Details they'd been paying attention to for months. We talked. Not about revenge or school or pain. Just about normal things. Dreams. Stupid childhood stories. What we wanted from life. Taewon made me laugh. Taran smiled more than I'd ever seen him smile. For a few hours, I wasn't the scholarship student or the victim or the puppet master. I was just Isul. And they were just Taran and Taewon. Two people who somehow saw past every wall I'd built and decided I was worth fighting for. We drove back to campus as the sun set. The sky painted gold and pink and purple. Taran parked near the east dorms. "Thank you," I said, "for today, for everything." "Don't thank us yet," Taewon said with a small smile. "We're not going anywhere." I got out of the car, grabbed my crutch. They waited until I was inside before driving away. I climbed the stairs to my room slowly. My knee was tired but not screaming. Progress. I pushed open my door, dropped my bag on the bed. My phone buzzed. New message. Unknown number. I opened it. My blood went cold. A photo. My mother, standing on a bridge, hands bound behind her back, something wrapped around her mouth. Her eyes were wide with fear. Below the image, one line of text. "You took something from us. Now we're taking something from you." I stared at the photo for exactly 3 seconds. My mother, hands bound, mouth gagged, eyes wide with fear. Most people would panic, call the police, break down. I did none of those things. Instead, I analyzed. The lighting, outdoor, overcast sky, the railing behind her, metal, rusted. Old bridge structure, the angle taken from someone standing, not professional, shaky hands, emotional, desperate. This wasn't a professional kidnapping. This was revenge. Yura and Solby, of course it was. My phone buzzed again. "Come alone to the old bridge by the docks. You have 1 hour. Tell anyone and she dies." I pulled up my messages, typed quickly. They took my mother. Sending location. Follow at distance. Record everything. Don't intervene unless I signal. Sent to both twins. Response came in 5 seconds. "On our way." I grabbed my crutch and left. The bridge was exactly where I thought it would be. Abandoned construction project from 5 years ago. Never finished. Metal framework exposed. No traffic. Just empty road and water below. I walked onto it slowly, let the crutch tap echo against metal grating. My mother was tied to one of the support beams near the center. She saw me and her eyes filled with tears. She tried to speak through the gag but couldn't. I kept my face neutral, scared, worried, exactly what they expected. Footsteps echoed from behind the concrete pillars. Yura stepped out first, then Sulby. Both of them looked wrecked. Hair messy, clothes wrinkled, eyes red from crying or lack of sleep or both. "You actually came," Yura said. She sounded surprised. "You have my mother," I said quietly. "Of course I came." Sulby circled closer. "Alone?" "You said come alone." "Smart boy," Yura said. She pulled out her phone. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to record a video, a confession." "Confessing what?" "That you manipulated everything." Her voice was sharp, bitter. "That you turned the twins against us. Yes, that you framed us. That you destroyed our lives on purpose." I looked at my mother, then back at them. "And if I do this, you'll let her go?" "Maybe," Sulby said. "Definitely," Yura corrected, shooting her a look. "We're not monsters. We just want the truth out there. We want people to know what you really are." I let my shoulders slump, let fear creep into my expression. "Okay," I whispered. "I'll do it. Just don't hurt her." Yura smiled, victorious. She raised her phone. Start talking." I took a breath, let it shake slightly. "My name is Baki Soul," I began, voice trembling. "And I manipulated the No twins. I turned them against Yura and Solby on purpose. I wanted revenge for what they did to me, so I used the twins to destroy them. I framed them, set them up, made everyone think they were the bad ones when really it was me. I'm the manipulator. I'm the one who ruined their lives." Perfect. Exactly what they wanted to hear. Yura lowered the phone, her smiling wide. See? Was that so hard? Sylvie walked to my mother, untied her hands, pulled the gag from her mouth. My mother sobbed, reached for me. I helped her stand, let her lean on me. Get out, Yura said, both of you, and if you ever come near us again, this won't be the end. I nodded, started walking my mother toward the bridge entrance. She was shaking, crying, holding on to me like I was the only solid thing in the world. It's okay, I whispered. What? You're safe now. We reached the end of the bridge. I helped her off the metal grating. Go, I said quietly. There's a car waiting 1 block east. Black sedan, the twins. Get in and wait for me. Isol, go! She hesitated, then ran. I watched until she turned the corner. Then I turned back. Walked onto the bridge again. Yura and Solby were still there, celebrating, laughing about how easy it was, how pathetic I looked on camera. They didn't notice me until I spoke. Masha, you know what's funny? They spun around, shock on both their faces. What are you doing here? Solby demanded. I smiled. I was just thinking. You recorded me confessing to manipulation, but you forgot something. What? Yura's hand went to her phone. You forgot that manipulators don't break that easily. I stepped closer. You really thought I'd just give up? That a video would scare me? You confessed, Yura said. On camera. Everyone will see. That I was coerced, I finished. Was that you kidnapped my mother and forced me to say whatever you wanted. Do you think people are stupid? Sylvie's face went pale. You have nothing, I continued. No power, no reputation, no future. And this? I gestured at the bridge. This was your last desperate move, and it failed. Shut up, Yura hissed. You're finished, I said simply. Both of you, and you did it to yourselves. I said shut up. She lunged forward. Selby grabbed her arm, but Yura shook her off. When both of them advanced on me, I backed up. Step by step, let them chase me. Anger made people sloppy, emotional, stupid. They cornered me at the edge of the bridge, where the railing ended, where construction had never been finished. Nothing but open air and water below. Yura was breathing hard. You think you're so smart, so untouchable. I think you're desperate, I said calmly. We could push you, Shelby said. Right off this bridge. Make it look like suicide. The poor broken Omega who couldn't handle the pressure anymore. You could try. Yura stepped closer. Nobody would miss you. I looked at both of them, at their rage, their desperation, their complete loss of control. Then I smiled, cold, calculated, the smile I'd been hiding for months. You're right, I said quietly. Nobody would miss me. Confusion flickered across their faces. What? I didn't let her finish. I pushed myself backward, off the edge, into open air. The last thing I saw was their faces. Shock, horror, hands reaching too late. Then I was falling, wind rushing past, water below, and the cold satisfaction of knowing exactly what I'd done. Checkmate. I woke up to the sound of sirens. Not outside. On my phone. Notifications exploding one after another. Hundreds. Thousands. The video was everywhere. The twins had released it exactly as planned. Footage from their hidden position showing the bridge. Showing me backed against the edge. Showing Yura and Sulby advancing. Showing the moment I fell. The angle was perfect. Deliberate. It looked like they'd pushed me. The comments were vicious. They're murderers. Arrest them both. They literally threw him off a bridge. This is attempted murder. Those girls are monsters. They should be in prison. Public outrage spread like wildfire. News outlets picked it up. The school released a statement condemning violence. Lawyers got involved. Yura and Solby were finished. Not just socially, criminally. I set my phone down and stared at the hospital ceiling. My body ached. Ribs bruised from impact. Knee screaming from the fall. But I was alive. The twins had made sure of that. The door opened. My mother slipped in quietly. She'd been there since they brought me in. Refused to leave. Slept in the chair beside my bed. How are you feeling? She asked softly. Sore, but fine. She sat down, took my hand. Her grip was tight. Too tight, like she was still afraid I'd disappear. We sat in silence for a while. Then the door opened again. Both twins walked in. They looked exhausted, hair messy, and clothes wrinkled like they'd been wearing them for 2 days, eyes red-rimmed but alert. The second they saw me awake, they moved. Taryn reached me first, his arms wrapped around me carefully, avoiding my ribs, just holding. Taywin pressed against my other side. His hand found my hair, fingers threading through gently. "You're okay," Taryn breathed. "You're actually okay." I felt his heart pounding against my chest, fast, unsteady. "Thank God," Taywin whispered. "And then thank God you're alive." They held me like that for a long moment, just breathing, just present. Then Taryn pulled back. His expression shifted, from relief to fury. "What the hell were you thinking?" His voice was low, controlled, but shaking with anger. "Jumping off that bridge wasn't part of the plan. You could have died," Taywin added. His voice was rougher, less controlled. "You could have hit wrong, broken your neck, drowned before we got to you." I looked between them. "Oh, but I didn't." "That's not the point," Taryn snapped. "You took a risk we didn't agree to. You made a decision that could have—" His voice cracked. He stopped, took a breath. "You scared us." "I'm sorry," I said quietly. "Sorry isn't enough." Taywin's hands were shaking. "We were supposed to protect you, and you just threw yourself off a bridge. I knew you'd come for me." Silence. They both stared at me. "What?" Taryn's voice was barely a whisper. "After I fell," I said, "the girls ran." "Well, but you didn't. You jumped in after me, both of you, into freezing water, without hesitation." I met their eyes. "I knew you would. That's why I jumped, because I trusted you to save me." Taywin made a sound, half laugh, half sob. Taryn's anger melted. His expression softened into something I couldn't quite name. "You're insane," he said, but his voice was gentle now. "Completely insane," Taywin agreed. Then they both smiled. Real smiles. The kind that reached their eyes. Taryn leaned down. Ere his lips found mine. Soft, careful, full of everything he couldn't say out loud. When he pulled back, Taywin took his place. His kiss was warmer, deeper, just as gentle. "We're not leaving," Taryn said when they both pulled away. "Ever. No matter what happens. We're staying by your side." "Promise," Taywin added. "I know," I said simply. My mother cleared her throat from the corner. I'd almost forgotten she was there. The twins straightened immediately. Respectful, formal. "We'll give you privacy," Taryn said. They left without another word. My mother moved closer, sat on the edge of the bed. "Those boys love you," she said quietly. "I know. Do you love them?" I thought about cold calculation and strategic moves, and using people like chess pieces. Then I thought about warm hands and steady presence, and two people jumping into freezing water without thinking twice. "Yes," I said. "I think I do." She smiled, sad and proud at the same time. "I need to ask you something," I said, "and I need you to be honest." "Anything." "Do you despise me?" The words came out raw. "For what I've become, for what I did to those girls, for being cold and manipulative and—" "Stop." Her hand covered mine. "I could never despise you. Never. I'm not a good person anymore." "You survived," she said firmly. "They tried to break you, humiliate you, destroy everything you'd built. And instead of letting them win, you fought back. Emma, you protected yourself the only way you knew how." She squeezed my hand. "That doesn't make you bad. That makes you strong." My throat tightened. "I'm proud of you," she continued, "for standing up for yourself, for not letting them define who you are, for being smart enough to turn their cruelty against them. Even if it makes me just like them, you're nothing like them." Her voice was steel. "They hurt you for entertainment. You defended yourself for survival." "There's a difference." I wanted to believe her. "I have news," she said, changing the subject. "Good news." "What?" "I'm quitting. My job. I'm done." I stared at her. "What? How? We need the money for—" "I have enough." She smiled. "My last job paid well. Very well. Enough to cover your medical bills, your tuition, everything we need for the next few years." Relief flooded through me. "That's incredible." It is. What was the job? I asked. Who paid that much? Her smile faded slightly. She looked away. It doesn't matter. Mom, it's done. That's all that matters. She stood, smoothed her clothes. What matters now is you getting better. Going back to school, writing your exams, getting into a good college. But please, her voice was quiet, firm. Let me have this. Let me keep this one thing to myself. I looked at her face, at the exhaustion, the relief, the fear still lingering at the edges. Whatever she'd done, it had cost her something, but she'd done it for me. And okay, I said finally. I won't ask. She kissed my forehead. Get some rest. The doctors say you can go home in 2 days if the swelling goes down. She left. I lay there in the quiet. Phone still buzzing with notifications I didn't care about. Body aching but healing. 2 days until I could leave. 2 weeks until I could go back to school. 1 month until exams. And after that, college. A future. A life built on foundations I'd fought for myself. The door opened again. We'd both twins slipped back in. Couldn't stay away? I asked. Not a chance, Taewon said. They settled into chairs on either side of my bed. Taryn's hand found mine. Taewon's fingers brushed my arm, and for the first time in months, I felt safe. Actually, truly safe. The verdict came down 3 weeks after I left the hospital. Chae Yura and Im Sulbi, guilty on all counts. Kidnapping, assault, attempted murder, 5 years each. I watched the news report from my dorm room, saw their faces as the judge read the sentence, saw the shock, the tears, the way their families looked broken in the gallery behind them. I felt nothing, not satisfaction, not guilt, just closure. They'd tried to destroy me, and in the end, they destroyed themselves. Honey, I turned off the TV and went back to studying. Exams were in 2 weeks. I graduated top of my class. Full ride scholarship to the university of my choice. The twins got in too. Same school, different majors, but close enough that we'd see each other every day. My mother cried at graduation, happy tears this time. She looked different, lighter, like a weight she'd been carrying for years had finally lifted. She'd kept her promise. Never went back to that work. Never told me what the last job was. I stopped asking. Some secrets were hers to keep. College was different, better. No one knew my story. No one cared about high school drama or scandals that happened years ago. I was just another student, just Beck Isul, pre-law track, decent grades, quiet but not invisible. The twins were there, always there. Taryn studied business. Taewon went into architecture. But every night we met for dinner. Every weekend we stayed together. Their apartment became our apartment. My space became our space, slowly, naturally, like breathing. The bond between us deepened, not just physical, not just romantic, something fundamental, rooted, the kind of connection that didn't need words to exist. They knew when I needed silence, when I needed touch, when I needed to be alone, and when being alone was the last thing I should be. I learned them too. Learned that Taryn's control was a shield, that Taewon's warmth hid worry, that both of them needed reassurance as much as I did. We fit. Broken pieces that somehow made something whole. 5 years passed. College became careers. Internships became job offers. The future stopped being abstract and started being real. My mother bought a small house outside the city, garden in the back, space for herself. She looked younger now, happier. I visited every month, brought the twins with me. She loved them, treated them like the sons she never had, fed them too much, asked about their families, their plans, when their plans always included me. On a Friday in late spring, Taryn texted me, "Meet us at the bridge, sunset, wear something nice." I knew which bridge, the one I'd fallen from 5 years ago, the one they jumped after me without hesitation. It had been rebuilt, finished properly, safety rails installed. No more exposed edges or unfinished construction. I arrived as the sun was setting, gold and pink bleeding across the sky. The twins were already there, both dressed well, not formal, just intentional. They smiled when they saw me. "You came," Taewon said. "You asked." Taryn stepped closer, took my hand. We wanted to bring you here, to this place. Why? Because this is where everything changed, Taewon said. Where you trusted us completely, where we proved we'd follow you anywhere. My chest tightened. 5 years ago you fell, Taran continued, and we caught you. We've been catching you ever since. And you've been catching us, Taewon added. And even when you didn't realize it. They exchanged a look. Then both of them moved, dropped to one knee, in perfect sync. My breath caught. Taran pulled out a small box, opened it. Inside a single ring. Simple, elegant, exactly my style. Becky Soul, he said quietly, you turned our world upside down the day you fell asleep on us. You were supposed to be nobody, just another student we'd never notice. But we noticed, Taewon said. We saw you, really saw you. And everything after that was inevitable. You made us better, Taran continued. Stronger, more honest. You taught us what it means to choose someone, not because biology demands it, but because we can't imagine existing without them. Taewon's voice was softer now. You called us your puppets once. You controlled us, manipulated us, used us to get revenge. And we loved every second of it, Taran finished, because it meant you trusted us enough to let us in. Oh, to let us be part of your plan, your life. They both looked up at me, eyes steady, certain. We want to be your puppets forever, Taewon said, willingly, completely. We want to devote our lives to you, Taran added, as your partners, your mates, your family. Will you marry us? They asked together. The sky behind them was burning, beautiful, temporary, but this moment felt permanent. I looked at the ring, at their faces, at the bridge where I'd almost died and they'd saved me. We had 5 years of healing, of growing, of learning to trust again, at two people who'd seen me at my worst and loved me anyway, who'd knelt in hallways and on bridges and now here, always choosing me. I smiled. Yes, the word came out clear, certain. They stood, slipped the ring onto my finger, both their hands covering mine. Then they kissed me, one after the other, gentle, reverent, like I was something sacred. When they pulled back, Taewon was grinning. Taran's eyes were wet. Well, now, we're never letting you go, Taewon said. Good, I replied, because I'm not going anywhere. The sun set completely. Stars started appearing. We stood on that bridge, the three of us, together. 5 years ago, I'd been a broken scholarship student with nothing but pain and anger. Now I was someone who'd fought back, who'd survived, who'd found people worth surviving for. The girls were in prison. My mother was free. Hannah and I was standing between two alphas who loved me enough to call themselves mine. Completely, eternally, willingly. I'd started as their victim, became their manipulator, and ended as their choice, just like they'd become mine. The bridge held us steady, the stars watched, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I'd finally come home. Not to a place, to people, to love I'd earned, to a future I'd fought for. And it was enough, more than enough. It was everything. The end of his soul's transformation from broken victim to cold mastermind had you on the edge of your seat. Smash that like button and subscribe for more emotionally charged Omegaverse stories where Omegas don't just survive, they conquer. What did you think of Isul's revenge? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.